for us in this way to fulfill all righteousness." Then John consented. And when Jesus had been baptized, just as he came up from the water, suddenly the heavens were opened to him, and he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and alighting on him. And a voice from heaven said, "This is my Son, the beloved, with whom I am well pleased." This is the gospel of our Lord. You may be seated. So many times these last two lines of the gospel, just as Jesus came up from the water, the heavens opened, a Spirit descending and alighting. These last two lines oftentimes convey a beautiful image of a dove fluttering down the sky. What a beautiful image. I was going to show a video clip. How many people watch or have watched The Office, the TV show? All right. So you guys may remember this episode. I pulled this clip from an episode of The Office, and it's an episode where Jim and Pam are taking their daughter Cece to be baptized. She's in this beautiful gown, beautiful baptismal gown. No, don't. Cece, no, not on the dress. And then you see Jim running out of the building, out of the church building, going to the car, running through the bag, the diaper bag, looking for a different piece of clothing. And then you see Jim walk in with Cece in an Arcade Fire t-shirt to be baptized. And she is baptized in the Arcade Fire t-shirt. I showed this when I first saw this. It just reminded me of the reality of the unexpected surprises that can happen in life. For those of you who are parents, you can probably understand and maybe have a little more appreciation for that scene also. But I wanted to also show that scene or talk about it because it hits on a part of baptism that I think we can really get hung up on. We can really get hung up on the location and the style of baptism. So much that we have Christian denominations that have split. We have Christian denominations this text, the story of Jesus' baptism, can get us thinking about just baptism as a whole. Maybe remembering your child's baptism. Maybe remembering a grandchild. Some people may sit and wonder, am I baptized? And upon hearing this text, we can ask and wonder, why is it that Jesus was baptized in the first place? Jesus was sinless. He lived a sinless life. He was the Messiah before he was baptized. John recognized him as the Messiah. He's baptized, and he's still the Messiah. Well, remember that there's this discussion between John and Jesus about who's going to baptize who. John believes he's not worthy. Jesus responds, to fulfill all righteousness, it must be this way. What I see Jesus doing here is basically a precursor to the rest of his life, a precursor to what we would see as far as what his ministry is about. As the Messiah, he came not to rule over the earth, but to serve it. In his baptism, he takes a place of humility. Some people explain Jesus' baptism as being his inauguration, kind of his, this is who Jesus is, the revelation. Jesus is God's Son. With baptism, there may be the question, why do we get baptized? There's many reasons why people choose to be baptized. When I meet with parents before a baptism, I oftentimes ask, why do you choose to have your child baptized? And there's a variety of responses. Some parents, and not necessarily parents that I've spoken to have these responses, but some parents insist that a child is baptized because I'm baptized. Some parents want to get grandma off my back and get this child baptized. Some parents see the baptism as being one of the first steps of living a life of faith. And for some, they want to continue this faith tradition. Grandma was baptized here. Mom was baptized here. I was baptized here. I want my child baptized here. Continuing this faith tradition. Baptism is a time when God is active. It's this acknowledgement, it's a celebration. It's a time that the parents make promises, adults who are being baptized make promises. We acknowledge our faith publicly in front of a community of believers. Parents make those promises to raise the child in a community of faith, to tell the stories of Jesus' birth and God's love for us. The thing about baptism is that it's not the end. It is the beginning. Jesus being baptized at age 30, it was the beginning of his ministry. Again, we can take our cue from Jesus. He did not come to rule over the earth. He came to serve, to teach, to heal. He came to serve the earth and all of humanity to the point of his death. Each time water hits our skin, we can consider and think about our baptism and ask, how are we growing and living in our relationship with God? How are we growing and living out what it is that God is calling for me to be doing? How are we living and serving God with our actions, with our words, with our lives? Friends, you have been named and claimed as God's beloved children. Share the good news of God's love and grace and mercy. And for that, we say thanks be to God.